Growing up, I had a series of sore throats as a young child, really bad infections, ear infections from about the age of 5, and it lasted right through till my 30s. So that's an important part of this whole journey of what led me to be writing a book and to be running the workshops and to do the work I do. I'd lived on antibiotics on and off through my childhood, trying to fight this infection, and it never did it. It always came back. So it became a repetitive illness. So I learned that actually some illnesses are just going to keep coming back. And why? Because there's a voice inside that illness and it's coming to tell me something. So I was very curious about what was this voice and what had it come to tell me. And I'd reached a point where I was so desperate in myself. I mean, you wouldn't know it from the outside. I've always been a happy, bubbly person. So that hadn't changed, but deep down inside, I was still getting my sore throat. I was just feeling like trapped, and I didn't know what that was about. There's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And that's been true for me all my life. And then one day I was in a health food shop in London, feeling what I was feeling, and I just was waiting to pay for something. I looked down, there was a free magazine, and I literally opened it. And it fell on an advert for intuitive painting. I truly felt in my being that this was the most important thing I could actually do to not survive but thrive. And I didn't know how or why. It was a strong sensation. I did 28 paintings in 3 days. Yeah. And these were big paintings using sort of child paint on newsprint paper. And that's the best way. When I have clients for intuitive painting, I don't use fine papers and I don't use fine paints because it's very inhibiting. Then we want to get into a whole self-critic thing, am I good enough? A child needs to feel safe, and it's our inner child that, if it's repressed, is not feeling safe. So we have to make a safe space so they can come out and play. And my workshops, Energizing Your Life workshops, were originally called Creative Journeys because it was about taking adults and letting them play in a safe space where they weren't going to be judged. And then I did a workshop in Russia many years ago with 50 people, and it was extraordinary, living in a repressed country. They were so thirsty for healing and for moving forward in their lives that we let the painting speak to us, and we sorted out some of their personal things, even illnesses. They were absolutely gobsmacked at how what they had done, the scribbles and squiggles on paper, actually was the guiding tool for a doorway forward in their life. It was that powerful.